Like I'm in the big leagues. Yeah, told him I'ma hit it out of stands. I deserve another 100 bands. I deserve another 100 fans. Told them this was always in the plans. I just did it cause they said I can. Blowing euros when I'm down in France. Labels asking how I build a brand. Told them put a check up in my hands. Boy got time, no cap. Made a few checks, but they all in the rest. Had a few friends, but they stuck in the past. I don't even trip when I'm thinking about that. Hopped in the whip and we all in black. Shawty wanna ride to the hop in the back. 0 to 100, seen the rev on the dash. They ain't catching up, dog, I'm moving too fast. I'm in the big leagues. Told her don't miss me. Ballin' like Houston, ayy, feeling like Whitney. I need a bag, bruh, send it through quickly. I'm making his dog, like I'm in a big league.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to TDPHINSTALK, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. I hope everybody is having an amazing, blessed night. Man, we got a special treat for y'all tonight. I hope you're ready for it. I really hope everybody's doing great. Listen, we already got 138 people in the building. Make sure you hit the like button on your way in. You know we like to get this show started with 100 likes. We're only halfway there with 50. So punch that like button. Make sure you let your friends and family members know about the channel. Shout out to all the members of the channel. We got our newest member that just joined, Jersey Dolphin. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the membership, homie. We thank you with the Pro Bowl status. We appreciate your dedicated monthly salute to this channel, man. I really hope you enjoy. If you'd like to become a member of the channel, the link is on the home page of the channel. Make sure you check it out. If you want to subscribe to the channel for the first time, make sure that you check that out as well. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the first day, the first episode of the off-season kickoff. Okay, we got an amazing lineup for y'all for the off-season, and this is the first night of the off-season kickoff. And let me tell y'all something, man. I got a special guy who I've been watching on YouTube, and I'm gonna be honest, I've only been watching him for a few weeks. And when I saw this man on YouTube, I said, this man knows what he's talking about on the regular, man. And listen, I'm not going to continue to pump him up. I'm going to let him speak for himself. We got Mike on the mic in the building, ready to drop some truth bombs on us. What's up, homie?
Yo, yo, yo. What up, everybody? Pleasure to be here, man. Thanks, TD. This is amazing.
Absolutely, man. I'm excited to have you here, man. I'm excited myself to kick back and enjoy the content that you're gonna bring every Monday night. And for those who don't know, he's gonna be with us every Monday night, giving his take on the Miami Dolphins. I always tell y'all, man, don't just listen to me. Other people have opinions, other people have takes, whether they're similar, whether they're different, and other people have perspectives. And I actually enjoy his. So that's why I had to reach out, and he graced me with his presence and yes, that he would do this on Monday nights. So I'm really appreciative of this, man.
Hey, no problem, man. They already blow me up in the comments talking about I'm snazzy, asking where my Dr. Pepper is. People just talking fast.
That's what's up, man. But if y'all don't know, though, okay? If you don't know, this is where you can find the homie, the Fins Tailgate. Throughout the stream, I will be dropping the link to the channel. Make sure you go over there, show your love and support. If you like what you hear tonight from Mike, this is where you can find him every day, pretty much, okay? The Fins Tailgate. I will be dropping that link in the comment section throughout the stream, all right? Y'all go show some love. Make sure you subscribe. I will drop the link. And we want, because there's a lot of great YouTubers out here, but a lot of people don't know about them. I want you to know about my guy, man, Mike. So the Fins Tailgate, as I drop the link for the first time, make sure you go over, subscribe to the channel, and check it out, everybody. All right, so Mike, what you got coming up for us, man?
Man, we can go all around the NFL. Yeah, I'm gonna kind of introduce myself, let everybody know who I am, kind of set the standard for me going forward. So when I say what I have to say, people got a clear understanding of where I stand. Talk about this last conference championship weekend, Super Bowl preview, head coaches search. We're gonna do a couple of the additions, Mike on the mic style, that I want to see in the offseason for the Dolphins. I'm gonna look forward to the 2022 schedule, and I'm also gonna do some way too early 2022 NFL predictions. And then I got a special segment for the fans. We're going to do a rapid fire turbo with the faster you send in comments, the faster I'm going to speak, because I'm going to answer every one of y'all's questions in those comments. Y'all's goal is to get me behind, but it ain't going to happen. And then I got a segment that if y'all watched my last show over on the Fins Tailgate, it was on Drop the Mic. And some of y'all, if y'all are tuning on, you might have been upset earlier, but I'm going to regurgitate this segment because it's phenomenal. I got about 20 people I reached out to that are not Miami Dolphins fans and got their take on Tua. And then we're going to touch on some of the rumors and are they Tua believe or not Tua believe? And it's going to be fun, man. It's so excited to be here. So.
All right, man. Well, the floor is yours. Again, thank you so much, man. I look forward to enjoying the content. I'll see you soon, buddy.
Yes, sir. Hey, and y'all, y'all already show him so much support, but he's doing big things letting us come on here, me especially, and maybe not tonight, but soon you'll see my co-host, El Capitan. He's the guy that gave me my opportunity. But without further ado, remember, like, subscribe, share his videos. Like everything TD is doing, because you may not agree with what he has to say, but boy, he is, he's on the money, and he's got some people that like to hear what he has to say. Maybe y'all can like what I have to say as well. But without further ado, I'm going to let you know kind of who I am and what I'm about. I'm a stay-at-home dad. I got 3 daughters, twins, and a 5-year-old. I am a devout Miami Dolphins fan. I spent 6 of the first 8 years of my life in Germany. And my dad, he is a lifelong Dolphins fan. He was at the San Diego Charger and Miami Dolphins' second longest game in NFL history. Appreciate that, ZB. I'm a Dallas Mavericks fan for sure. But anyway, so he had season tickets for a long, long time. He used to talk about he absolutely loved the Orange Bowl. Joe Robbie. He for my entire life, he just force feeds me sports, but it's made me who I am. So I've always be grateful for it. But my biggest love in life, outside of my Longhorns, is the Miami Dolphins. The Miami Dolphins, to me, the one record that probably never ever going to be broken. Miami holds it with the undefeated season, 1972. All the history with Don Shula, Dan Marino, the lack of a Super Bowl since, Marino's try, and then all the quarterbacks we've gone through. But through and through, I've been in Texas. And in Texas, boy, they love their Cowboys. And if you aren't a fan of the Cowboys, they like to talk mad crap about your team. And my team has been easy to talk about. As y'all know, being that it's y'all's team too, it's hard to stick up for the Dolphins sometimes. But, we've had our historic Hall of Fame players just like they have. And for being in Texas, but in particularly, Dallas struggled just as long as we have, so they ain't really got no room to talk. But they're so proud because of Jerry and their product, and it's made it fun. But it's also forced me to really fall in love with my team even more. I always love them, always will, but now it's more okay. Y'all can't be talking that much crap about my team if you don't know about my team. Let me educate you real quick. And through the years, I've actually got Dallas fans that are ready to jump off the Dallas bandwagon, become a Miami Dolphins fan because of how we were playing the last 3 years. They attribute it to a certain coach that's gone, but that's past, so we're going to move forward. But I'm a big believer in there's different perspectives to everything. Find the different angles, and then put your idea together and put your opinion together and figure out where you stand. And with that being said, what up, Fins Up? I ain't better at TD. I'm just, maybe I'm prettier. I don't know. I got this cowboy hat and a vest on for y'all. But, so, I'm going to give you real quick before I go forward, before I get into any of the juicy topics. I'm going to let y'all know my stance on where Miami is. And, the big, I guess the one topic that is just the firestorm that starts after that is I'll give you my stance on Tua. So, real quick, my stance on Miami. I'm very disappointed with the way it ended. Appreciate you, Ari. Hey, y'all, remember, this is my first time to ever get paid to talk to people like y'all. So feel free to send those tips in, man. I'll read every comment that's out there. But, yeah, if y'all want to help support me and my family, dude, this would be great. Great time to do it. Great time to start. First show to ever get that opportunity. So I appreciate you already, Ari. You're my first tip I ever gotten on YouTube. But, so my stance on Miami, I was very disappointed with the way it ended. I think we all were. Very disappointed with how it started this past season. But in a whole, 3 years ago, when we brought on Brian Flores, I was so damn excited. The only, pardon the curse word, but the only guarantee, at that time, he was the only guaranteed 5-year coach in the league. Nobody else had a guaranteed contract. He was the only one. I felt like we were finally committing to a plan, and we were going to see it through because we commit over and over and over again, but when do we ever see it through? So I thought maybe we would with Brian Flores. That first season, you can think what you want about it. I was proud that he brought culture, he brought composure, he brought a backbone back to Miami. Practice was hard. Don Shula and him talked all the time. Don Shula loved Brian Flores. I was in love with Brian Flores. Then the 10-6 season, we had our ups and downs, and whether you want to talk about the fact that we played Tua too soon, whether it was his decision, all the behind the scenes stuff that you may have heard since he's been let go. 10-6 season, we had a winning season. I was stoked. I was so excited. And I had crazy expectations for this season. Well, then everybody knows how it started. Beating the Patriots, going 1-7, doing what we did to get to 8-7, then, finishing 9-8. I am absolutely embarrassed that we let Flores go the way we did because I do believe it's an emotional firing. And yes, if it was deserved, it was deserved. But an emotional firing usually has more that goes into it, and when we fired Flores, my first thought was, here we go again. And right now, with all the head coaching rumors and everything that's going on, I'm worried about my Miami Dolphins. I'm worried that we're going to have to start rebuilding again in 2023. And if that happens, dude, I'm tired of it. I know we all are. It's been 20, 25 years of mediocrity, right in the middle, never making progress towards being a contender or just the top dog or even the second dog in the AFC East. And by all means, it looks like the Patriots are back, and it looks like Buffalo's here to stay. And I'm worried. I'm worried that no matter what we do with the head coach, I'm worried about no matter what we do with the quarterback position, some of the decisions that may or may not make in the offseason. I do have a little more than a little bit of worry that this is going to all blow up in our face, and we are going to be rebuilding again. But that's where I stand on the Dolphins. I'm really eager to see what decisions they make over the next week or so, and in this offseason, and then comes the draft and, OTAs and everything. I'm really excited to see, but I'm nervous and I'm worried. So now let me get to the fun part. My stance on Tua. I think it was the 6th game in a row that we had lost this year. So week 7, I recorded a video. Yes, hit that like button. Thanks, Charles. Appreciate you. Definitely hit that like button, y'all. Don't forget it. It's really easy. Just click out of the chat box, hit the like, come back in the chat box if you're on your phone. Not that hard. But, so I recorded a video because I do see potential in Tua. But that's where it ends. Right now, it's just potential. I've seen too much inconsistency. I haven't seen enough of him grabbing the bull by the horns, taking the team over, and owning that he is the franchise quarterback of the Miami Dolphins. I haven't seen that. I've seen him flash maybe 20 to 22 throws in his 21 games where I was like, okay, there's some quarterbacks out there that might not make that throw, but, let's see it again. And then it goes a game or two before I saw it again. So he's inconsistently shown greatness, but it's so inconsistent that I can't defend him. And I can't sit here and say he was worth the number 5 overall pick. That's my biggest issue with him. To get down to the bottom line, I think we wasted the number 5 overall pick. I think Tua was worth being drafted, but not at number 5. No way. And to hear rumors that Miami didn't even look into his post-recovery mechanics and get tape of him throwing the ball, and they drafted him off of, what's up, Mr. Paul? They drafted him off of his college resume, and then saw, okay, his recovery's ahead of schedule, looks good, his post-op, they said it's going to be great. Let's go ahead, let's draft him. Let's spend our number 5 overall pick that could change our franchise for the foreseeable future. Let's go draft a guy. But can he throw? And nobody seemed to ask that question, or they just didn't care. And you can blame it on Greer, you can blame it on Ross. I don't care who you blame it on. The fact that we didn't look into his stuff, it just done pissed me off, because that injury has killed one of the most incredibly athletic people of all time in Bo Jackson. Killed his career. Never was able to come back from it. Never was walking the same. That injury sucked, right? The only other place you typically see it on a regular basis is a car accident. In my opinion, if you own $1 billion franchise, you're a millionaire. You're investing the number 5 overall pick in a guy. You best do your due diligence and look into the son of a gun and see if he can still throw it the same. Because if he can't throw it the same, why are you taking him? You're going to teach a guy how to throw it? For 15 years of his life, he's played football a certain way. He's thrown the ball a certain way. He's had the hip torque a certain way. He's had the mechanics, his footwork, his pocket presence. It's all been the same for 15 years. Then he has a catastrophic, almost career-ending injury, and you don't go see if he can still throw the ball? That's where I have my issue. God bless Tua. Boy's doing everything he can, but he's broken up here, and he's broken down here. He doesn't trust his hip. Gotten hit one too many times. He's scared of getting hit. Doesn't follow through on his throws consistently. We may see a flash every now and then. I mean, y'all can all throw out throws that he's made, but you'll stop at about 20. There's only about 20 throws that he's made where you're like, okay, maybe that's repeatable. And right now, where I stand on Tua is he's got to have somebody come in here that knows what they're talking about at the QB position and relearn and reteach him how to throw a ball and how to throw it consistently. He doesn't have the same torque in his hip. He doesn't have the same rotation in his hip. His arm strength isn't strong enough to make up for not having the rotation in his hip. He looks like he's pulling off on the throw early. He has happy feet in the pocket when he thinks he's going to get hit. He seems to be hearing ghosts, not as bad as some people we've seen, but he seemed to be hearing ghosts. He needs to step back, and whether you want to say Flores broke him or not, I think the whole situation broke him. Because in my honest opinion, Tua at Alabama was great, but Alabama quarterbacks have never been anything in the NFL for the last 15 to 20 years, maybe even longer than that. Joe Namath, maybe. But so my problem with Alabama quarterbacks is they play the SEC. Cool, that's great. The SEC is always powerful, best conference in college football. But they also play 2 to 3. Marino's Goat says always good to get more takes. Yes, sir. But 2 or 3 of maybe even 4 of the teams they play every year are scrubs. They pay Alabama for Alabama to come in there and beat them in the first quarter, and their stats look good. And a lot of his stats, the Tua-neers and the Tua and on, and the people that absolutely love Tua talk about, well, he didn't even play the fourth quarter in a lot of those games. That's cool. His stats were inflated. He's playing with guys that are going to be Hall of Famers. He had Calvin Ridley. He had Devontae Smith. He had Jalen Waddle. He had the dude that Jamison Williams. The dude has had Jerry Jeudy. Go down the list. He's had crazy talent at the offensive wide receiver position, tight end position, unbelievable talent at the running back position when you're at Alabama. And I think that's why Alabama quarterbacks don't succeed in the NFL. Not that they can't be great mid-tier, mid-level quarterbacks, but never in my life would I invest a top 10 pick on an Alabama quarterback or an Ohio State quarterback for that matter. It's not just Alabama that I have a problem with. It's some of these bigger schools that their stats get inflated when they're in college because of their competition or their lack of competition, whatever you want to call it. Not saying Tua wasn't a phenomenal college quarterback. The numbers they speak for themselves. He was a great college quarterback. And you can argue that Alabama changed their philosophy for a guy like Tua, who probably had the most gifted arm Alabama had seen in forever. So, but when you draft a kid number 5 overall, whatever position it is, it's supposed to be a guaranteed franchise changer. There are busts. I get it. Lots of busts. You're never guaranteed with any pick you get. But the fact that you spent a number 5 overall pick based on his college resume, no combine, no pro day, no Zoom call, no backyard workout. They saw a couple throws here and there from his training, the perform, whatever it's called. They may have thrown a couple of videos out there from him throwing it in the gym or whatever. But they didn't see him throw consistently 50 balls in a row. They didn't even look to see if he had the deep ball accuracy anymore. They didn't look to see if they just didn't look. And that's my issue. Tua, I love Tua as a dude, man. As a dude, he's a role model. You can't argue against that. Kid's a role model, has a great family behind him. Maybe his dad's involved too much. Yeah, that's your decision. But the fact that he was drafted to come into this organization and change our future. The biggest issue with that was he's a system quarterback. Argue with me if you want. He's a system quarterback that was drafted by a team without a system in place. So you're expecting a system quarterback to come in and develop a system. And in today's day and age, you ain't got time to do that. So all the naysaying, all the hating on Tua, arguably I think it's because we have too high expectations for a second-year quarterback. But on the other hand of it, it's Miami's fault. You have a system quarterback without a system. It's not going to succeed. And you're going to have to put a lot around the kid. You're trying to build a system on the fly with a kid that isn't even confident enough to play football like he used to, and you expect it to be great. So to the Tua haters, this is my word of caution. Because we went 10-6, you saw a little bit of Tua that first year. Maybe he started too early. It's your opinion. I think he started too early. I think it was forced on Flores to start him. The different story for a different day. But because we went 10-6, and our defense, we didn't lose anybody. We drafted Waddle Phillips. We drafted Javon Holland. We have phenomenal players on this defense, and there was so much faith in the defense, and there was so much faith in Tua's second year taking that leap. All the people that aren't on Tua's side cannot argue that because of the 10-6 record, we had some really high expectations for this season. And my caution to you guys and gals is, when is this? Okay, and please do not talk about recency, because I will get to that in a second. Recently, obviously, what's happening this year, maybe it's a moot point what I'm about to say. But that might make 3, maybe 4 second-year quarterbacks that have ever done what, myself included, what we expected to happen with Tua at the helm this year. And I think our expectations were just a little high because of what happened in 2020. Going 10-6 and missing out on playoffs by a game. Granted, we got beat down by Buffalo, but that was one of the best seasons we've had as a Miami Dolphin fan in a long time. So, understandably, we set our expectations higher for 2021. And then we had that horrific start. And then we needed somebody to blame. And instead of blaming the on-field product, we chose to blame Tua because he wasn't doing enough. His stats weren't lining up. His peers in Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert, they're showing the it factor. We saw the Arizona game, Kansas City game. Hit that like button, please, y'all. I don't know how many are in the comments, but y'all better be getting on those likes because TD, dude, this channel is amazing. I'm so happy to be here, but I'm so excited that all y'all are commenting, but it's moving too damn fast for me to get to that. So appreciate you in the back, TD. But so I think we just put too high of expectations on Tua, and we started to blame him, and it's fair because Burrow and Herbert, who were drafted in the same class, and we passed on Herbert to take Tua. So I get the argument, and I understand the frustration. Oh, gosh, I understand the frustration. I was pitchfork ready for Tua, but I had to put it back in the barn because regardless of what you want to say, he didn't have an O-line. You want to say the O-line played better towards the end of the year, didn't have a running game, his weapons weren't healthy, all this. He's a second-year quarterback. We expected him to maybe go through all 3 of his reads, maybe go through all 4 of his reads and then pick the right guy. Reality, he can go through about 1 to 2 reads right now. He's a second-year quarterback. If he's having trouble with the playbook, there's more to the story. So, understandably, the blame was placed on Tua. But for me, I feel like if Miami chooses to go forward with him, I'm going to be just as critical as I am now. But he's the quarterback for my Miami Dolphins, so I'm going to support him. And so I ask all the Tua haters, just lay off a little bit of the people that really support Tua, whether they are Tua fans or Dolphins fans. You know, nobody's going to know unless they tell you out of their own mouth and they're honest with you. But they love their guy. We as Miami Dolphins fans that aren't really a fan of Tua, we still got to at least put up with him. He's the quarterback of our team. We put up with Ryan Tannehill, Jay Fiedler. I mean, we go down a list of quarterbacks that we put up with. And just we had to watch because they didn't have anything else to put in there. And I don't know about you, but I don't want Jacoby Brissett. Legend says we didn't have high expectations. We were told he was a plug-and-play quarterback and read defense RPO. And you're 100% right, Legend, and that's more to my point. That's why I'm mad at the Dolphins. Because they sold us all this. The coaching staff, people that knew Tua, the local reporters, the beat writers, they all sold us that Tua was going to be the savior. And we were lied to. And they had no idea whether he was going to be or not. But it's not Tua's fault. And it's not his fans' fault. It's Miami's fault. And fins up, I'm right there with you. I don't think it's smart to move forward with Tua. But that's all I can do is tell you what I think is smart or not because they're making the decision. But my favor to all the people that don't like Tua is let's get back to being a Miami Dolphins fan and dealing with the shit that we've dealt with for the last, excuse my French, we've dealing with the crap we've dealt with for the last 20 years. We've had mediocrity. It's no different. It hasn't been any different. Why we started to expect it to be different? Why we expected our first-round draft pick to work out? Dude, I don't know. Especially the top 10 pick. They just don't work out for us. And that's our curse as a Miami Dolphin fan base. But it's okay. We're still a Dolphins fan. I ain't going anywhere. I mean, I'll be critical. I'll get my torches and my pitchfork and be at Stephen Ross's front door if he don't work this thing out. But I'm not hating on Tua. And so that's my stance on Miami. That's my stance on Tua. So, yes, that hip injury took everything from Tua. He'll never get it back. King Mill, I'm right there with you. I still think if you go watch him at Alabama and watch his follow through. Watch his rotation in his hip. It's all different now. He does not trust it. Not saying it can't do it. Going and playing golf is actually really good for the hip rotation. So, yes, I wish he was practicing more and maybe getting a little bit better on the field. But the fact that he was playing golf, I have to commend him for trying to get his hip rotation back. Whether you want to say he was lazy or not putting in the effort, not committed, that's up to you. Fact of the matter is he has no hip rotation. He needs hip rotation. Golf is great for hip rotation. So just let's lay off of Tua just a little bit. I'm not saying that he doesn't deserve the hate. I'm not saying that he doesn't deserve the criticism. But let's give the guy a chance, man. Like, we don't have any choice right now. The Dolphins have an unprecedented opportunity to change that, to upgrade seriously at the quarterback position. But if they don't do it, we can't do anything about it. We got to roll with it. And unless you're going to stop being a fan of the Miami Dolphins, we might as well get used to watching this guy. You know, Big Ben couldn't throw the ball past 10 yards, and now he's retired. Now we got a quarterback that can't throw past 10 yards, but Big Ben made it a while. You know, maybe he can. I don't know. That's a bad shot. But anyways, so before we go forward, thank you, Dwayne Wade. Like and subscribe, everybody. Please, please, please. And KKOS, man, I'm not going to mention his name. I'll let you talk about it in chat. But yes, there are options out there. And I'll talk about those on a different show. But going forward, we have what's going on right now in the NFL. And we just had a conference championship weekend. Yes, please check out my channel over on YouTube, The Fins Tailgate. It is the tailgate party that never stops. I am Mike on the mic, the host of Drop the Mic and Open Mic. But all y'all supporting TD, thank you so much. I'm here for y'all. Y'all want to come follow me over there? Awesome. But TD's the man, and we got to keep liking and subscribing. And those of you that like him, dude, let's get his back. There's a lot of people out there trying to just talk crap about TD, and TD's the man. Let's back him up a little bit. You know, he has his takes, but we all have our opinions. Let's back him up. But so there's football going on right now. We just had a conference championship weekend that 50% of it went the way I thought it was going to go, to be honest. I thought Kansas City was on a mission. I thought Patrick Mahomes was about to say, hey, slow down, young buck. It's still my AFC. I'm still here. You're the new guy. Slow down, Joe Burrow. It didn't happen that way. And we saw Mahomes make mistakes that we haven't seen him make very often. Saw him get in his head and kind of get nervous and make some not rookie mistakes, but make mistakes that you don't expect to see from somebody like Patrick Mahomes, especially the way he finished the season. The guy was on the money. That Kansas City Cincinnati game was, I think, a preview of the AFC going forward. I think Joe Burrow's here to stay. I think I've seen more out of that kid than I've seen out of a rookie quarterback in a really long time. Appreciate you. I am Touche. Joe Burrow looks like the real deal. And maybe Miami was smart trying to trade 3 draft picks and some other people to go get him. Cincinnati looks a lot smarter to not take that deal and draft Joe Burrow themselves. That conference championship game was interesting because, Cincinnati, the last game they played against Kansas City, they went down at half, and I thought Kansas City was going to pull it out, and then all of a sudden Kansas City came roaring back, and then, man, that last game of the regular season, that play call in the last 2 minutes, and I think it was 14 seconds that were left, and Cincinnati started playing strategy, and whether you can – I disagree with the play call twice to run Joe Burrow on a QB sneak, but ask him not to score. Second time, I thought he got hurt. Joe Mixon was mad. But I was superbly intrigued because I saw a look in Patrick Mahomes' eye after that last game of the regular season that he wasn't going to lose. And then 13 seconds against Buffalo for him to do what he did when, Andy Reid telling him when things are grim, be the Grim Reaper. I did not expect Mahomes to struggle like he did. I thought that front seven of Kansas City was going to dominate Cincinnati's offensive line. I thought Joe Burrow was going to get sacked again another 9 times. And I thought the secondary was going to be good enough with Matthew back to do it. I thought they were going to run away with the game. I think Vegas had the point spread at like 15.5 or something like that at one point. I thought it was kind of crazy, but I saw Kansas City doing that. And then they didn't. And then Cincinnati's just grit and determination. And I'll tell you what, I got, you can say what you want about Joe Mixon out of Oklahoma, but that boy, at the end of that game, he iced that game. He said, give me the rock. I'm going to go get these first downs, and we're going to win this game. We're going to the Super Bowl. So it was a heck of a game, man. That was really fun. After the divisional round that we had, where it was arguably the best divisional round I've ever seen, to have a conference championship first game like that in the AFC, that was a heck of a game. And I'm happy for Cincinnati. That fan base has been hungry like we have for a long time. So kudos to Cincinnati. I picked KC, but I'm proud to be wrong about that one. It's not a big deal. Then you have the NFC Championship game. And San Francisco kind of scared me a little bit. I thought maybe their Cinderella run was going to keep going because, the Rams looked vulnerable. And then that second half came around, and that Rams defensive line said, we ain't losing. And they dominated in that second half. Jimmy Garoppolo had no time to throw. They couldn't do the play action. They couldn't run the ball. That was the defense that Los Angeles paid for with Ramsey, Von Miller, Aaron Donald. They showed out in that second half. And that was the defense I expected to see the whole game, and I didn't think it was going to be close. And, San Francisco made it close, but ultimately I thought the Rams were going to win. And, Stafford right now is on a mission. He ain't never been this far. The team knows that. He's put in a lot of work. He was stuck in Detroit. No offense to Detroit fans, but if you get drafted by Detroit, you are stuck in Detroit. They haven't never shown different. Y'all have 2 guys that retired before their prime was over because of being in Detroit. So, Detroit fans, I'm sorry. I hope it gets better for y'all. Looks like y'all might be on the up and up. We'll see. Y'all ain't got a dang quarterback. I witnessed that guy's last collegiate game. He was at the Armed Forces Bowl playing Air Force. And I watched every out route and every stop route and every hitch almost get undercut by the DBs because he has no arm strength to throw that throw. So Detroit, whatever. But I thought for sure that the Rams would dominate that game, and they did. So towards the second half, that first half sucked. But San Francisco, Deebo Samuel's phenomenal. Oh, my gosh. Did y'all see that hit Deebo took? That reminded me of Javon Holland on Calvin Ridley. It was so clean, shoulder to the chest. How you teach it? How I used to teach it. I used to be a football coach. It made me so proud. He didn't lead with his helmet. He just stuck him. And Deebo's a big, he's a strong dude. He don't really, he reminds me of Hines Ward. You knock him down, he's going to get up, shake your hand, give you a high five, tap you on the butt, say good hit, and go about his business. Boy, that was a nasty hit. But ultimately, we saw Jimmy Garoppolo not be able to make the throws, and he is what he is. He's a bridge quarterback for some teams. They're trying to see if Trey Lance is going to be it. But anyway, so conference championship weekend was fun. Rams, Cincinnati. Rams, second team in a row, second team in history, back-to-back years now that they've been not hosting, technically their away team, but they'll be in their home stadium. Dude, it was such a great hit. I still remember watching the video probably 20 times when Javon Holland put that hit on Ridley. And then he did it again and again, but that hit on Ridley, I was like, oh, that was clean, Dad. I called him immediately. And if y'all don't know, my dad, he'll be on here some weeks, but his name is Bullet Bob. He's got stories for days, but he's really fun to listen to. Yes, please hit that like button, y'all. But man, that hit was just so pretty. So we got Rams and Cincinnati in the Super Bowl. What do I think about the Super Bowl? First of all, I'm going to give y'all some stats. So as Cincinnati going into the game, they've got, let's see here, they've got the 7th ranked passing offense as far as touchdowns and yards. They have the 19th ranked offense as far as rushing attempts and 23rd ranked rushing team. Their defense, though, has the number 5 rushing defense and the looks like bottom 3 or bottom 4 of passing defense. But they come in there with Joe Burrow. And what we've seen Joe Burrow do this year, his 400-yard game, his back-to-back 60-point fantasy games. Joe Burrow, the title does say Miami's the best. So Joe Burrow is how Cincinnati lives and dies. Jamar Chase, phenomenal. T. Higgins, phenomenal. Tyler Boyd, good third guy. Joe Mixon, say what you want about him, he's consistent. P. Ryan, they did lose C.J. Uzoma. I think that's going to be a big loss because he was definitely a big part of their success later in the season. He came on pretty strong. Other than that, they're reasonably healthy, I believe. But we're gonna see this weekend the depth that Cincinnati has because they're going against a defense that there are any weak spots they're gonna exploit it on the offensive side of the ball. Now, on the defensive side of the ball for Cincinnati, you're going against. Okay, real quick story about Matthew Stafford. I shared this on my last show over on the Fins Tailgate. Matthew Stafford, I got to hang out with Tim McMahon. He's a local reporter down here in Dallas for NFL and NBA. Used to be, he's on ESPN, sorry. Anyways, I made a bet with him before baseball season. I won the bet. Instead of taking the money, I asked him to take me out for a beer or two, let me have a conversation with him. He told me a story about Matthew Stafford that I realized at that point in time that, okay, I need to give Stafford his due. So Stafford was a freshman in high school. Graham Harrell was a senior in high school. Graham Harrell was on his way to Texas Tech. He had set every state record for a quarterback. Matthew Stafford and Graham Harrell were in the state championship. Or it was to go to the state championship, can't remember. But they were playing against each other. It was 4th and 4. Matthew Stafford's team had the ball. And all they had to do was complete the first down. Game over. They go to the state championship. That's what it was. They go to the state championship. Graham Harrell goes home. And everybody, the mad favorite was Graham Harrell. And those of you that don't know Graham Harrell, if you go look at his stats while he was at Tech, whether you want to credit it to Mike Leach or not, the dude had a cannon. He slung that ball at Texas Tech. It was fun to watch. So, anyways, it's 4th and 4. So they hike the ball, and immediately there's pressure on Stafford. So he rolls back, goes about 10 yards behind the line of scrimmage, cuts to his right, gets to the hash about 12 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and he flicks the ball. Tim McMahon said he watched that ball go around a defender, and he's actually done this to the Dolphins, but it went around a defender and hit a guy for 5 yards down the seam, and they won the game. But he said all he did was literally just flick the wrist. He had no follow through, nothing like that. He just flicked his wrist and that ball on a rope right to the guy. He said that's the moment he knew Stafford was going to be good. He went to Georgia, did what he did, went to Detroit, now he's in the Rams. And I do not think Cincinnati's defense. Oh, I got to bite my tongue. Stafford's prone to mistakes. But I don't have faith in Cincy's defense to force Stafford into that type of mistake, especially if they're being balanced or running the ball with Cam Akers and Sony Michel, if Akers isn't too hurt. Dan Fowler says, if Burrow wins Super Bowl, wow, but I don't think that Bengals online can handle the Rams. Yeah, 100%. I'm right there with you, Dan. I think dude, Von Miller and Aaron Donald, I don't care who else is on that line. Von Miller's already proven he's a Hall of Famer. Aaron Donald's probably one of the best players ever Pound for pound, positionless, whatever you want to say, the impact he's had on the game. He's consistent, most consistent defensive guy I've seen. It reminds me a lot of Warren Sapp back in the day. I think he's better and quicker, but the dude's amazing. I don't think Cincy's O-line is going to stop the Rams defense, but I don't think Cincy's defense is going to hold down Matthew Stafford. Ultimately, I could see it being, I'll say 27-24 Rams over Cincy. And that's my Super Bowl preview. You heard it here first. I have the Rams winning 27-24 over Cincinnati Bengals, and Burrow gets so close, but it has to wait just a little bit longer. All right, there you go, John. I just gave you it. In the Super Bowl, if the 49ers had won, Scummy says Rams 30, Cincy 20. Let's see that too. Definitely see it being a 3-point, one possession game, maybe a 2. We'll see. Roman says 31-19 Rams. All y'all picking the Rams. I think we're smart. But the thing is if too many people pick the Rams, you know how the football gods work. Cincy's going to win the game. But if San Francisco had made it to the Super Bowl, we'd probably, as a Miami Dolphins fan, still be in limbo about who we're going to have as head coach. And right now, that's the domino I'm waiting for. Care less what happens at the QB position. Care less what coordinators we have. Care less what we do in free agency until it gets there. Right now, Miami's in the midst of a head coaching search that might be one of the most important ones we've ever been on. Because of how it's either going to go right or it's going to go down the drain. There's one way or the other that this is going to go. And right now, there's 3 candidates that I'm hearing connected. One of them I wish was connected, but it's not yet. But I'll get to that in a second. So you're hearing Mike McDaniel, who's obviously by all accounts, the favorite, has a second interview today. Could very well get the job before I get off the air. Maybe when we wake up in the morning. I made my case for McDaniel on my show Saturday night. Just quickly, without doing the whole thing again, I'm going to tell you, he's been in the league for 15 years. I think it's 6 different teams. If there's anything he's done that will help him as a head coach, as far as building his staff, is he's made those relationships. And he's a likable dude. I've made a living being a likable dude. I get a lot of friends. My network is large because I'm a likable dude. Not that I think I'm likable, but people like me, And by all accounts, people like Mike McDaniel. So maybe he could build a great staff because people like him and they maybe give him a chance to go play for him. Whatever. He has this dude. Whoever thought about sending Trent Williams, and supposedly it was him, to have the idea of putting Trent Williams in motion and literally having a semi go after bicycles, that's pretty genius. So he's innovative. His run scheme, phenomenal. Here's my issue with Mike McDaniel. Never coached quarterbacks, never worked with quarterbacks. He's wide receivers and running backs. And he knows how to scheme people open. But we need a guy that is experienced with the quarterback position. It's called the Fins Tailgate, Roman. Appreciate you, buddy. We need a guy that's going to come in here and help with Tua. That's our number one concern right now as a fan base. And I'm a little worried that Mike McDaniel, he just has never worked hand in hand with quarterbacks. If he has and I'm wrong, please educate me. But everything I've seen is he's a phenomenal wide receiver coach and a phenomenal running back coach. And I think he played wide receiver at Yale, actually. I may be wrong on that, but something like that. So he's never worked with quarterbacks. But like I said, he's a likable dude. Maybe he'll get that offensive coordinator that's Ken Dorsey or really, honestly, that's the only guy. If Mike McDaniel's the coach, I want Ken Dorsey. So, and maybe Ken Dorsey can do what he did with Josh Allen with Tua. And Josh had that phenomenal third-year leap. And that's what we need out of Tua. I do not like McDaniel, but I'm not opposed to McDaniel. If that's who we get stuck with, because that's what the Dolphins do, they go hire first-time head coaches, then albeit, so be it. We'll run with Mike McDaniel. Roman, yeah, it's definitely not Mike on the mic. It's the FINSTAILGATE, 4 words. So that's where I stand on Mike McDaniel. If we hire him, cool. Let's try it over again. We've been trying for 20 years. We could try again. First-time head coach is not my ideal way to go. Then there's Kellen Moore. I don't know why he's still being connected. I get it. He hasn't officially signed his extension with Dallas. Maybe he is getting interviews, so on and so forth. But I heard in the local market with my own ears, Jerry Jones, the guy who signs the checks, And he hasn't been wrong about this. He's done this many a times where he says, hey, you be my coordinator for a few more years. Don't go take that head coaching job. Did it with Sean Payton. Did it with Jason Garrett. Just did it with Dan Quinn. And now it seems he's about to do it with Kellen Moore. And I just don't believe Kellen Moore is going anywhere. So I don't even think he's a candidate for Miami anymore. Appreciate you, Roman. Appreciate you very much, man. So Kellen Moore is attached. I have big issues with Kellen Moore, but I just don't think he's going to be the guy. So I don't want to dig into that because that's an hour-long show by itself, my issues with Kellen Moore, because I don't get to watch the Dolphins game live very often. I get to watch the Dallas Cowgirls. So lots of issues with Kellen. Anyways, and then there's the hot name lately. For those of you that maybe haven't seen or aren't quite sure if it's a possibility, I'm sitting here right now and I'm telling you tonight, Jim Harbaugh is a real possibility that could have been their plan this entire time. I was one of the ones that didn't think they had a plan when they fired Flores, and that's why I think it's going to blow up in our face. But I'll say this. 10 years ago, Harbaugh was dangled in front of Stephen Ross. Didn't come. This time, Harbaugh is being dangled in front of Stephen Ross again. And if you remember at his press conference, when they asked about Harbaugh, he lost his composure, became a little kid. He was just giggling. Let them know what yes. So definitely. Thank you, El Cap. Appreciate you being here, Bubba. So, Harbaugh right now got dangled in front of Stephen Ross once again, and he broke composure. He broke, and he giggled, and he laughed, and he looked like a little kid. And to me, it looked like a little kid that, oh, you must be listening to what I'm saying in the back door because I'm already talking to him. You know, he said the whole political stuff. I'm not going to be the one to steal him from Michigan because he is a Michigan donor and all that kind of stuff. So then the whole thing, and his name went dark. Nobody heard about it. I kept attaching Harbaugh to Vegas. I thought for sure he was going to Vegas. If he was coming back to the NFL, I just felt like that was a good spot for him. Guy like, forgot his name already. The guy that got fired. Guy like him. Somebody help me out. What's his name again? Anyways, guy like him gets fired. Guy like Harbaugh fits right in. So John Gruden. John Gruden gets fired. Guy like Harbaugh. Two same type of coaches. So that's good. But I thought he was going to Vegas. Then all of a sudden, a couple days ago, you get the report that Minnesota's asked him for an interview. This is after I had spoken to my circle, in particular, one of my friends who's went to Michigan, big-time Michigan guy, alumni, whatever. He was under the impression at that time that Harbaugh's on the way out. They were very trepidatious about whether or not they thought he was going to stay. The offer had been on the table for 2 weeks at this point, and he hadn't signed it, and they're nervous. They thought they wanted him to stay. They were hoping he stays, but they're really nervous about him leaving. And then the Minnesota job comes out, and this is where all my dominoes started going. This is a couple things. First of all, if Stephen Ross lets Jim Harbaugh come back to the NFL and doesn't coach the Miami Dolphins, Stephen Ross looks like a complete imbecile, an idiot, a moron. Fool me once, fool me twice kind of guy. Harbaugh, I don't see the allure other than the GM. I think he had a relationship with San Francisco. I don't see the allure in Minnesota. I mean, they got Justin Jefferson, Dalvin Cook, who's kind of injury prone already. Alexander Madison, you want to say what you want to say about him? Thielen, you say what you say about him? But appreciate you, DM fans. But I just don't see the allure in Minnesota. So here's what I think's happening. I think this is all so that Stephen Ross doesn't look like the bad guy to Michigan. It's like, I didn't steal you. Appreciate you, El Cap. He says to the slush fund, Mike on the mic, love you, bud. Donate to the channel, everybody. Make sure to show the Finn family some love. Appreciate y'all. Thank you so much. So, yeah, I just, Minnesota doesn't look that great to me. And I just don't think that Stephen Ross wants to look like a fool because it's happened time and time again. So I'm thinking Minnesota is used to either get a final offer from Miami, push their hand or force their hand and get them to offer ahead of time, or so that Stephen Ross doesn't look like the bad guy to Michigan and he can say, hey, look, he was trying to go to Minnesota, but I brought him back to Miami to play for me, and this is a Michigan thing. And then this is where it goes a little bit further, because I don't know if y'all have seen it, but there is a report out there that Tom Brady is deep into discussions with the Miami Dolphins. but not about playing. He does not want to play here, but he's in discussions about something. So here's where my mind started to race. You got Stephen Ross, Jim Harbaugh, Tom Brady. All three Michigan alums. That's kind of a good trio right there. Whether you want Brady to be a special advisor, a QB coach, maybe you want to do offensive coordinator, I don't know. But if he wants to just have a front office position, be like a Dan Marino type, what better way to stick it to Bill and Bob than to go to the team that Brady struggled the most against in the NFL and stick it to Bill? Teach him how to beat Bill. Teach him Bill's everything, you know? I don't know if any of this is going to happen. And that I've only seen one report of Tom Brady talking to Miami, but it was a reliable source. So I'm sitting here thinking, hey, Michigan. Yeah. A lot of people out there saying if we get Harbaugh, Watson's on the way. I hate saying his name because that's a hot topic. I hope the chat doesn't go too nuts. And then XX Dark Reaper 45. I think if he is coming to Miami, and Tom Brady coached Tua, treat. Don't sleep on it. I don't know why they're talking, but they're talking, and it's been going on. So I don't know why they're talking just yet, but keep an eye on that, because if he does retire, which I think his butt hurt because somebody else reported it and he didn't announce it and he never even talked to his team first, but I think he is retiring. And if he wants to retire and not get out of football and not have to move too far, stay in Florida. Take a special advisory role with the team that you can go stick it to your old boss for. I, for years, thought it was Bill. Never gave Brady the credit. After last year, I ate crow, and Brady's the GOAT. I hate to admit it, but he is. So the Michigan connection to Miami right now is getting kind of strong. The legs are starting to run a little bit, and the steam is blowing, and maybe that's what happens. I don't have faith that Miami Dolphins are that smart. I wish I did, man. And I hate to say this, and I hope not to piss anybody off, but Miami Dolphins are the circus of the NFL. We have been. And I'm a clown that goes every time. And I'm a clown that performs every time by talking good about my team and trying to defend them. But we are a circus. And I don't know if they're smart enough to pull this Harbaugh thing off. And if they are, kudos, man. I will, hey, everything I ever said bad. For sure. Get out of here. Yeah, exactly, TD. That's what I'm getting at. You just let go of whatever, Charlie Fry. That position's open. The only people have been talked about keeping here are the offense coordinators and Boyer. So I don't know, but there is that connection to Michigan, and I think it's getting really, really strong down in South Beach that Michigan might be moving to South Beach. We'll see. But, gosh, that would be something, y'all. If Brady ends up being a part of this organization after being, he's our stepdad for a long time. Man. But, so that's the right now on the Miami head coaching search. And before I move on, I want to tell you one thing. I am still looking Brady back. I bet he plays better than Brissett. TD out there throwing jokes. But yeah, dude, man, definitely. We got a player's coach. I'm all for it. They did it in basketball. Look up Bill Russell's stats. That boy was coaching and playing the last 5 years of his career. And still won 11 championships. But, so, there's one guy that I think we still need to keep an eye on, and that's Doug Peterson. A lot of people are going to throw out Kevin O'Connell. A lot of people are going to throw out Thomas Brown. There's other names that have been connected, but for me, if they are rolling with Tua and they're going to go all in, there's Harbaugh or Doug Peterson, and that's it. Because I don't think Jim Caldwell is going to come back. That would be another guy I want. Those are my three guys, Harbaugh, Peterson, and Caldwell. Because I just do not think that a first-time head coach is going to be able to wrangle this locker room, galvanize it, get everybody back on the same page, and have the same goal moving forward. And all this offseason drama that started before the offseason even really began. You got to have a guy that has the stones to come in here in that respect, and that he's earned, and he's got the credentials, he's got the pedigree, whatever you want. The first-time head coach, I don't think he can galvanize this locker room. I just don't. But that's my opinion. So that's my Miami head coaching search updates, what I think's going on. Now, real quick, I want to get to my Mike on the mic off-season additions for Miami. This is the players that I want to see for Rush. It is the Fins, F-I-N-S, Tail, T-A-I-L-G-A-T-E. 4 words, Fins Tailgate. What up, Esther? I didn't even see you in here. Appreciate you, man. I'm a little earlier, so you get to hang out with me a little bit longer. The Fins Tailgate. There's the link, guys. And if you want, the link for my channel is in the comments. Y'all can go back and click it and go subscribe all you want. I am Drop the Mic and Open Mic. I am Mike on the mic from the Fins Tailgate. Again, thanks so much, TD, for letting me be on here. Make sure y'all like, subscribe to this video. Make sure you share this video. Get our name out there. TD, he's doing mad work, making waves, and we just want to be a part of that. And again, we are so honored to have this partnership with TD right now. And starting tonight, it's so much fun, guys. So my top off-season additions for Miami that I would like to see. Real quick before I give you my names, I'm going to tell you what I want. I want a veteran tackle. I want a veteran guard. I want a veteran center. I want another weapon. And then I want not necessarily a 3-down running back, but I want a running back like a bruiser, that kind of how Duke Johnson was at the end of the season. Maybe a guy like Leonard Fournette. But the running backs, I think we could get that in the draft, so I'm not really looking to add those through free agency. So mainly, I just want another weapon. I want a veteran guard, a veteran tackle, a veteran center, and then let's roll with it and see what happens. Because we still have Lynn Bowden Jr. coming back. We still have Waddle. As much as we may or may not like him, we still have Devontae Parker. I'm hoping he gets traded. If we re-sign Gesicki, we still got him. Don't forget about Hunter Long, Durham Smythe. I mean, we got, I think if we upgrade that offensive line and get everybody healthy, we got a pretty good squad. And it wasn't, but maybe 5 or 6 years ago, we had the number one skill position roster in football. Whether it played out that way or not, by all the numbers, we were the number one skill position team in football, and maybe we can get back to that. Maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. But I want, as far as tackles, I got 3 names for you. I got Trent Brown, Orlando Brown, or Terron Armstead. Either of those 3 guys, my number 1 is Terron Armstead, but y'all know how great he is. Maybe New Orleans, now that Peyton's gone, maybe they're going to be ready to trade. They are $70 million over the cap. Maybe we can link up with them and make some trades instead of signing these guys in free agency, but then we would have the cap room to make them fit salary-wise. There's all kinds of stuff we could go. But I want Terron Armstead if that's my number 1 guy. If I get to pick whatever tackle I want to add to the Miami Dolphins, it's Terron Armstead. At guard, Andrew Norwell, Austin Corbett, Brandon Scherf, and let's bring our old boy Ted Karras back. Hey, appreciate you, Dolphins. I told you, every time you see me, I'm getting a felt hat soon. Get felt hat soon, guys. If those of you that know the hat rules that I just really learned myself, that I got to wear a felt hat during the winter, I guess. So I'm going to get one soon. But appreciate you, Dolphins. So let's bring Ted Karras back. Why not? Brandon Scherf, Austin Corbett, or Andrew Norwell. Any of those 4, I'm happy at guard. That'd be phenomenal. At center, there's only one guy I want, and it's Ryan Jensen. The reason I want Ryan Jensen out of Tampa Bay is because he is a mean SOB. He is the meanest guy on the field. He is probably the strongest guy on the field, and he don't take no crap. And if there's one thing he's going to do, he's going to protect his dang quarterback. And so I think Ryan Jensen on this team would be perfect. Maybe teach Dieter, Reader, whatever. And then I think with a guy like Terron Armstead, and I'd go with Norwell upside only. I would go with Norwell and get those guys in here to teach Austin Jackson, teach Jesse Davis how not to be a drive-through. Show Liam Eichenberg some stuff. Get Robert Hunt. I'll tell you what, next year, what I do want to see is I want to see Robert Hunt and Robert Jones on that right side, because Robert's on the right. Bro, that run blocking was phenomenal in that Patriots game with Robert Jones and Robert Hunt. I really hope we roll forward that and Jesse Davis is on the back burner. But get some veteran guys in here to teach these young guys how to play the game. Maybe teach them footwork. I don't know, because they just, at certain times, all 3 of them look terrible. Eichenberg, Austin Jackson, and Davis. Davis, I just hope never plays again. Austin Jackson, maybe there's not, we weren't the only team that saw value in him, so maybe there's something there. I haven't seen it. And Eichenberg, I don't know what you can do with him, but I want Robert Hunt at right guard, and I want Robert Jones at right tackle, and you can figure the rest of it out. And that's how I want to see for the offensive line. Weapons-wise, for me, I either want Mike Williams and trade Devontae Parker and give us that true outside threat, or I want to go get a Chris Godwin. I'm not saying Ridley because I don't know what it would take to get him in a trade, but a guy like Chris Godwin, if he comes back healthy from his injury, and they actually look at the video to see if he can still run routes, like we should have done with Tua, he excels at the intermediate route. And if we're rolling with Tua, and this is all assuming that we're going with Tua, I think a guy like Godwin can really take us to the next. I do not like Juju Smith-Schuster, Sean. I am sorry. I do not have any faith in him. He fell off the map when Godwin got there. He's got Deontay Johnson and Chase Claypool, so it's not like he's getting doubled anymore, and he was not productive. I do not like Juju. But What up, Shake? I hope you have fun on Red Dead Redemption, bro. But if we're sticking with Tua, I think a guy like Godwin can help Tua excel. Because I think you got the guy like Waddle who can blow the top off the defense or take that slant, and you got Godwin running that 10-yard in, or he can run that a double move, get up the field, get into the seam. I think Godwin can take the ball to the next level. Now, do I have faith in Tua's ball placement to actually let these guys get yards after catch? I don't know. But he can get them the ball. That's one thing we can't argue about Tua. Maybe it's terrible. I'll be honest with you. It's terrible ball placement. But he completes the pass. He just doesn't put it in a position for them to get yak. And right now, with the way our offense was run, the way I think it's going to have to work with Tua is you need receivers to get yak. You need that yak. And ball placement has to get better. So maybe that can be mechanics. I don't know. But I think a guy like Godwin really does help Waddle, and it helps Tua. Because I don't think his 10 to 12-yard passes would just be 10 to 12 yards. They can turn into 15 to 25-yard gains. Not guaranteeing it, but I think a guy like Godwin can do that for him. Obviously, he's hurt. If he does come back healthy and he does look like he did before he got hurt, I like Godwin a lot. But I love Mike Williams. Don't know why it took Mike Williams so long out of Clemson to become who he's become with Herbert. Maybe it was the lack of quarterback. I don't know. But what I've seen out of Mike Williams is a guy that's going to catch the ball. He's a possession, big play, jump ball receiver. Maybe not the speed to run away from anybody anymore, but he's going to catch the ball when it touches his hands. He's going to go up and get the ball, and he's going to score touchdowns. And it's what we envisioned Devontae Parker to be, but, I mean, it's sad that Tua has played more games with Jakeem Grant than Devontae Parker, and that's an indictment on Devontae Parker. 100%. Get on the field, bro. We gave you that massive contract. You played one 16-game season, and now you can't do it again. You weren't worth none of that money. That's another mistake. That's why we're a circus. We pay guys like him. Mike McDaniel's Dolphins interview spanned much of the day with McDaniel stressing to Chris Greer his plans on how to unlock Tua, wants a quicker passing game, and believes he can win with Tua. Quicker passing game? Quicker passing game? Boy, Tua had like 3 seconds max. How can you get quicker than 2.3 seconds? Oh, my gosh. Okay, I got a little problem with that. But their interview's over. Lasted most of the day. Again, he's a favorite right now, but I still think if they don't announce tonight, they don't announce first thing in the morning, they're waiting for National Signing Day, waiting for Harbaugh to get his guys, sell them to the assistant coaches and say, bye, I'm going to the NFL. If it's Mike McDaniel, awesome. But a quicker passing game? Seriously? You can't get any quicker when you ain't got no time. 3 seconds in the pocket, 2.3-second release. There's no quicker than that. Otherwise, he's throwing it to the defender because the receiver hasn't even run his damn route. That one ticks me off. That one really ticks me off. But McDaniel must be hitting the bottle again, bro. Like, for real. I don't know how much quicker you can get in this passing game. That's all we are is a quick passing. Oh, man, that irritates me. But, so, Miami offseason additions. I want Terron Armstead. I want Andrew Norwell. I want Ryan Jansen. And I want Chris Godwin or Mike Williams. That's how those are the immediate adds that I would make to this team. And let's see, Tony's comment from before. Bro, that's probably way up there. Hang on. He said, Mike, I feel that Jim Harbaugh, if he comes here, would prefer drafting a bigger-bodied, strong-arm quarterback. With his history, I don't think he likes quarterbacks like Tua Tagovailoa. Tony, I know what you're getting at. You really like Carson Strong. Kohler, he said, thanks, Mike. I thought I was the only one that caught that fallacy. I know you like Carson Strong. I'm a big Pickett guy, but seeing that he didn't measure his hands at the combine, that's a whole nother Tua Kyler Murray situation with his hand size. But I think you're right. Harbaugh does like the bigger body, but I think there's a more proven guy out there. There's two of them. Dude, go all in for Deshaun Watson or go all in for Rodgers if it's Harbaugh, because he's going to win it. He's going to be a contender with one of those two guys. Anybody we got in the draft, I hate this year's draft class. I do not think there's a quarterback worth taking in the first round. Obviously, it's going to happen because people are quarterback hungry. But, 2 picks in 2023. Give Tua one more year if you're not going to get a guy like Deshaun Watson, if you're not going to get a guy like Aaron Rodgers, or even Russell Wilson, or if you're not going to bring in competition. I don't care. Go get Tyler Huntley and make him push Tua to get better. A right-handed version of a mobile quarterback in this offense wouldn't be too bad. But go get somebody to definitely compete with him. But I think you're right. I think he does like big body quarterbacks. I just don't think the quarterback is going to be taken in this year. I think the 2 picks in 2023, the 2 first-round picks we have, can be traded together to get into the top 5 if we're not there. God, I hope we're not there. But if we are not there and San Francisco record isn't that great, or, if they're right there in the mix as the playoffs again, then that pick's probably going to be 15. I'd say we probably have 2 picks, 15 to 22 next year at this rate. And if we do, trade both of them and get into the top 10 and then go get your quarterback in 23, because right now I think it's a waste to take a quarterback in this year's draft in the first round, but that's it. What up, Gio? He said, what up, Mike on the mic? Great stuff as always, my brother. What's up, TD? Yeah, y'all go check out Miami Sports Fanatics show after checking out the Fins Tailgate, after coming to TDPHINSTALK. So you got 3 channels that I mentioned. Y'all go check them out, like them, subscribe if you haven't done that yet. Go show those boys at Miami Sports Fanatics show a good time. They're awesome. So with that being said, those are my off-season additions, but we're talking about, what's going to happen next year. So real quick, I'm just going to preview the schedule that we have and what we're going to look forward to next year. I think the first game that we definitely are going to be looking forward to, depending on when it is, there's a couple teams. So obviously Baltimore Ravens, see if we can dominate them again. Then you got Cincinnati Bengals. It's going to be at Cincy, so that's Tua versus Burrow. That's going to get all the haters going. We play Detroit. I'm not worried about that one. Cleveland, I'm not worried about that one. Pittsburgh, unless they get a guy like Watson or Rodgers, I'm not worried about that one. Packers, if Rodgers is gone, I don't know if Love scares me, but LaFleur scares me, so that might not be a bad one. Minnesota, not really worried about that one. And then the Chargers, dang. Tua gets to go against Burrow and Herbert next year. That's money. And then we also play Houston and San Francisco. So I guess, technically there's, Cincinnati, New England, Buffalo, Green Bay, if Rodgers stays, New England, Buffalo. I can see 6-7 losses already without upgrades to the team. So looking forward to 2022. That schedule's tough, like real tough. Real tough. And Shake Money says Spurs best team in Texas. Slow down, bro. Go look at your win-loss record compared to their win-loss record, and then we'll talk again. They used to be the best thing going, but Popovich's a little old, and they just let their coach in waiting go. So Spurs. My wife's a Spurs fan. I got engaged at the the Dallas Mavericks, San Antonio Spurs game in Dallas. It proposed right in Victory Park, right outside the stadium, right before the game started. We are a house divided. Spurs ain't the best team in Texas. Good try though. Really good try. But anyways, y'all don't want to get me on my pedestal about the Spurs. I was part of I do got to tell you about this. Championship year, 2010, 2011. We were at a place called Wing House in Arlington, Texas. And if y'all remember that game against San Antonio where Dirk went down the lane, got fouled by Manu Ginobili on the way, and the ball just rolled in, just really rolled into the thing, and we ended up icing the game. Well, we all started jumping it, and we broke the patio at Wing House that night, and the Spurs forever will never live that down, that he fouled Dirk, when if he would have just tied it, would have been Spurs win, but he fouled him, let him get the and one, and we ended up winning. So, and then Kojak, you saying Heat baby, 2006 will always live deep in my safe of hate, I guess, for teams that just hurt me. But I have to tell you this, Dwayne Wade's one of my favorite players of all time to ever play in the NBA. Watched him from college all the way to the pros. I loved everything about Dwayne Wade's game. 2006, he got his, but I got mine in 2010, baby, when y'all had the super team and we didn't have a super team. We had that one superstar and that beautiful, tall German back there. That's fadeaway, that leg. Oh, dude, one of the greatest players, maybe the greatest European player to ever play. We got our revenge. So, me and Miami, we're kind of even killed. Yeah, I'm not really mad at them anymore. But being that this is a South Florida podcast, I do have respect. And Miami's dominating this year. It's not like you need me to talk them up. They're doing it on form. They're doing it on the court, so I don't need to say nothing about them. Way too early, 2022. We were just looking at the schedule for the Dolphins. I'm going to make my way too early NFL predictions. Really, I'm just going to – honestly, I'm going to give you my top 4 next year. And this is right now, it's way too early because all this is going to happen and all these changes of players going to different teams, free agency, draft, all that stuff. But I'm going to say this. My top 4. Cincinnati, Buffalo. I'm going to take, I hate to say this, Dallas and Arizona. I like that because I don't think those teams need much to get better. They just need to tweak it here and there. Mr. Polk says, hit the like Button family, TD and Mike sharing great football knowledge you can't beat tonight, so hit the like button. Yes, sir. Thank you, bro. Appreciate y'all. Y'all don't forget to like and subscribe. I can't wait to get off the stream tonight and see how many people y'all actually watched me. This is going to be the coolest night of my life, guys. I'm about to party. My wife and my buddies here. We got the shots ready to go. Can't show you what it is. Don't want to get in trouble. But, yeah, we ready to go, y'all. It's going to be so much fun tonight. This is a celebration. This is the biggest moment of my life as a sports podcaster. So thank y'all all for being here. Appreciate it very much. So I got Cincinnati, Buffalo. I think those will be the top two in the AFC Championship. And then I think you're going to have Dallas, and Arizona. I think Dallas and Arizona were just unlucky. Not that I have faith in Dallas turning around. Just I have the same amount of faith in Miami turning around. But Dallas, they have a damn good team, even if they do lose Amari Cooper. And Quinn came back. He took that defense from worst in the league to top 10. So they're going to improve. Micah Parsons is a stud. If you don't know Dallas's defense, guys, y'all need to go take a look at it. Trayvon Diggs, Micah Parsons, Tank Lawrence. If they keep Randy Gregory, they've got Neville Gallimore. I mean, that team is loaded on defense. And so if you don't know him yet, go get to know him because you're going to be hearing Micah Parsons' name for a long time. Him and Holland. It's 1 and 1A for me as far as the two best young defenders in each conference. And no, I'm not a homer. Javon Holland's an absolute stud. Y'all going to be talking about him and Ed Reed in the same sentence next season. Watch. And then Mr. Brandon Jones looks a lot like Troy Polamalu. So, we got a hell of a tandem back there at safety. But I'll preview our roster after the draft and everything next season. But, and then I guess if I had to pick the Super Bowl next year now, what up, AF? Thank you, man. Appreciate you. I think it would be, I'm going to go Arizona, Cincinnati. And I would have Cincinnati beating Arizona. So you heard it here. Mike on the mic, 2022 season predictions. At this very moment, I'll have Cincinnati beating Arizona in the Super Bowl. And I'm not a Burrow nut. I don't grab his nuts and follow him around. He's special. I haven't said that about a quarterback in a long time other than Mahomes and Rodgers. Burrow special. When you get sacked 9 times and you still stand there and it don't matter and you're standing in the pocket and you're taking the hit and you're ready for the damn hit, you got some cojones. And then, people want to talk about, well, look what they did. They gave Burrow all this stuff. Burrow broke his damn knee in the first season, and then they got sacked the most times in the NFL the second season. So they didn't do much for him except go draft a guy named Jamar Chase. They literally didn't do anything else for him that worked. So Burrow's special, guys. Not comparing him to Tua. I don't want Tua to be Burrow. I think Burrow's going to be Burrow. But he's special. Next year, if he's hungry after this, that's a boy that, man, you just watch out. I'm not going to try and put my foot in my mouth, but Burrow, I think, is going to be really special. Joe Burr. Yeah, so, guys, there's a bunch of people in the comments. So we only got 4 more subscribers. Hey, that works for me, though. So we're going to do a fun segment. For those of you that don't know, and if you haven't figured it out yet, I can talk pretty damn fast. Excuse my French. But I can talk really fast. So I want to do an experiment, okay? This is guest and audience participation. I want y'all to start sending questions for me. Can be about anything. If it's inappropriate, you're probably going to see me skip it. But anything you want to know about me, y'all start putting the questions in that comment box, and I'm just going to start answering them. And y'all's goal is to get where I can't keep up with y'all's comments. And until then, you're going to hear a little bit more about me. But Mr. Palky's at What's Up, Pete? Andres is in there. Hello, Fin Fam. Hit that like button here and on the Fins Tailgate. Please go check out the Fins Tailgate, y'all. Y'all are loyal to TD. If you like me, be loyal to me and El Capitan as well. And then, you'll see me here every Monday. Do I believe in aliens? I have to say yes, I might actually believe in aliens. Been seeing a lot of weird stuff. The government releasing a lot of info. I don't think we're the only intelligent life in the universe, so I'll say yes to that one. Vic Papa says, question, do you really think we should be giving these porcupines guns? I don't know what you mean by that, but if I have to think about a porcupine with a gun, maybe we shouldn't give him a gun. I don't know if that's good. And then Chris Williams said, who's the next coach? I'm going to say Harbaugh. K Chaos says, how many pets do you have? I've got 3 dogs. I got a cat. And then I got 3 kids, but, I can't call them pets. I get in trouble for that. I also got a hermit crab, so I guess that's, 4 pets, 5 pets, 6 pets, 5. Yeah, there you go. Man, let's get these comments or questions coming in. Let's see. What does the top of your head look like? I got a little bit of hair. I ain't balding too much. There you go. There's the top of my head. I got a scar right here. Yeah, I got a scar right from when I was a kid, a little 4 inches. Had 8 staples, 3 internal stitches. That was a fun one. Do I believe in Greer? I think I might believe in Greer. What's my dog's name? I got Goose, I got Bailey, and I got Maverick. Are you a Texas Rangers fan? Die hard. If you can't tell, I got the Texas Rangers right up there. What's in the crock pot on top of the refrigerator? Nothing right now except maybe some dust. Who would you want as an offensive coordinator? I'm going to say Ken Dorsey. I think that would be best, but my ideal situation would be Harbaugh and McDaniel. I think that would be phenomenal with McDaniel having the head coach in waiting or assistant head coach, whatever. How many hats do you have? I have one Cowboy hat right now, but I've got a ton of hats other than that. Are you TD from Earth 3? Sure, I'll say yes to that. I don't even know what that one is. Bengals or Rams? I'm going to take the Bengals. No, I got to take the Rams. I think the Rams are going to win. How old am I? I'm going to say 37. How long before the new coach? How long will the new head coach have before firing? Depends on what we do this season. And if it's not Jim Harbaugh, I think it might be Stephen Ross's scapegoat. If we don't do well and we get to 11 wins, make the playoffs, I think he can fire Greer and put this all on Greer. How much do you love Tua? I love Tua as a man. I'm not really in love with them. Do you think the Dolphins win a Super Bowl next 10 years? I'm going to say no. Do we live in a simulation? I'm going to say no. Josh Allen versus a quarter. Who you got? I guess Josh Allen. Kill one, marry one, bang one. Tua, Greer, Ross. I'm not going to enter the bang one, but I'll let you do your own thing. I'd say Ross, Tua, Greer, I guess. You know, is your boots. I don't know. You tell me, Dolphin. Yeah, they're nice. They're Ariats. They're good. Let's see. What's going on? I can't answer that, Pete. What are your thoughts on Stephen Ross? I think Stephen Ross has put his hand into the cookie jar too many times, and I think he needs to start taking it out of the cookie jar and let these football people make the decisions. But if he wanted Russell Wilson, I can't hate on Stephen Ross for that. Gio says, Mike, what should we do with the first-round pick? It's number 29, Miami Sports Fanatics Show. I think you honestly, if the Linderbaum's there, you grab him. Mike, what a dark horse coach candidate for I don't want it to happen, but Terrell Austin out of Pittsburgh. We never get the guys we hear attached to the Dolphins, and that's a guy I haven't heard yet. What kind of truck do you drive? Ford F-150. What do you think our record will be next year? I'm going to say 7-10. Who do you think will sign Flores? If it's not Houston, I think he takes a year off, maybe go coach in a different league. Let's see. One got to go. Dirk or Marino? Oh, might snag me up right there. I'm going to say Marino. He didn't win a championship. Who's the worst QB on the roster minus Brissett? I mean, I got Reed Sinnett, but he's not even there anymore. How many picks players would you give up for Watson? I'd give up 3 first-rounders, 1 this year, 2 next year. I'd give up a second-rounder, and I'd probably give up Devontae Parker or Mike Gesicki. Thoughts on Big O? Don't watch him enough to have an honest opinion about him. Wearing socks in bed, yes or no? If my ankles are itching because I have eczema and it's cold, then I am wearing socks because I don't like waking up with blood all over my ankles. Do you believe we win a Super Bowl next 10 years? I already said no. I don't believe so. Do you ride horses? I love riding horses. Don't have any horses, but I am a rider. If we had Watson, how many games would we win? Next season, I'd give us 11 or 12, to be honest with you. Burrow or Allen, I'm taking Burrow all day long. And then I caught up to y'all, man. That was a good try, though. We keep going, but yeah, y'all ain't coming fast enough with these. Y'all got to get some more people in here having fun with this. But that note, can Tua last a full season? I think if you got a good offensive line and keep him from getting hit, maybe. Y'all, thank y'all so much for being here tonight. I'm not closing up just yet. I got a special segment that I'm going to finish the show with, but please jump over to the Fins Tailgate. Give us some subscribe. If you want to turn the notifications on, give us a like. Go check out some of the videos. We've got great content. It is the tailgate party that never stops, and we do have a party. I really enjoy all the audience participation. I'm a big advocate of getting y'all involved. As you can tell, that segment was for y'all. I hope you had fun. It's going to get faster and faster, but I'll keep up, guys. If you can't tell, I can talk fast. I appreciate you, Dolphins, Spurs World. So I want to get to a special segment. I say special, and some of y'all heard this on my last show, but I'm going to read quite a few comments. I have a circle that's pretty big, especially when it comes to diehard football fans. And I reached out, and I had to ask. And I'm not going to share them all, but I'm going to share their honest opinion about Tua. Yeah, you almost got me, J&Z. This is TDPHINSTALK. I love it. So the first guy I asked, he's one of the people that I respect most about football. And I knew when I asked him, all I said was, I want your honest opinion on Tua. So this is what he said. My bad, passed out earlier on the couch. I think Tua is likely best viewed as a QB in the 18 to 24 range. He should be viewed equally to Daniel Jones. I think it's a pretty fair assessment. Both are in the same spot right now. In my eyes, they're both improve-it years. Could even argue Jones over Tua right now, value-wise, with the Dayball signing. But I think Tua's looked better than Jones, but Jones has the higher ceiling. With Brady leaving now, I think you could see a huge QB change-up throughout the league, just a domino effect on QBs on different teams next season. That's what my friend Zanny. I'm not going to tell you, he's a Patriots fan, but he's not a mean Patriots fan. He actually likes the Dolphins. He doesn't hate them. And that was his thoughts on Tua. You can say what you want about it. It's pretty accurate for what we've seen thus far. So then I asked my friend Ricky, another Patriots fan. I do not live in New England, but I have a lot of friends that like the Patriots. He said, this was pretty funny. Started off great, became a flop, reminds me of RG3. That's what he thinks about Tua. Thinks he's going to have an RG3 type career, which means it's going to end because of injury a little short. Okay, not doing too good here. Then I asked another guy. This is a Giants fan. This is after they got Daboll. He said, I think he's another QB out of college that doesn't transition great at the NFL level, but with no injuries would have been mobile enough to stay a starter for about 3 to 5 years as a mid-range QB. In the NFL, before being a full-time backup, right now with his injuries, he's already a starting backup. That one was kind of harsh from a Giants fan. They do have Super Bowls, more recent than we do, so I'm not going to say it's too harsh. Now, this guy is a Cowboys fan, and he is a diehard Bama fan. His name's Travis. And his was a complete breakdown of what he thinks about Tua. You got to remember, he's an Alabama fan. Loved Tua in college. My opinion of Tua in a nutshell. Great athlete that knows how to win. Above average arm talent and accuracy, but head gets in the way most of the time. Tries to do it all by himself. Has to learn the game to be more successful. NFL is won by teams, not players. College, a single player can take over a game. Unless your name's Deebo Samuel or you're an elite QB, you can't do that in the NFL. He could be a Russell Wilson who could win championships if he gets out of his head and learns the game. This can all be done under the right coaching staff. Problem is here is the right coaches and their QBs. So he's going to give me a list now of the QB-minded head coaches. What up, EM? Appreciate you stopping in, my dude. Salute. He likes Andy Reid and Mahomes. These are the examples he's talking about of a QB coach combination that you see. Andy Reid, Mahomes, Sean McDermott, Josh Allen, Sean Payton, and whoever he had, Belichick and Jones. See, I don't like Belichick and Jones because I don't think Belichick's a QB guy, but had the GOAT with him. McVay and Stafford, Shanahan, Jimmy G. He's just talking about coaches that are paired with quarterbacks, and the reason the quarterbacks are good is because of their coaches. So it's a pretty fair assessment of Tua. Doesn't hate him, doesn't not hate him, doesn't really move the needle for me too much. Then I asked another Cowboys fan. His answer was, eh. Then I asked, this is a Patriots fan. He wanted me to make sure I tell y'all ahead of time that he's a good Patriots fan. He's not one of the mean ones. I'm guessing like Yankees fans. He said, to me, there's guys I have hunches on, guys I avoid. He happens to be one of them. I like what I saw with Waddle there in Miami, but just between the injury and the thought that he is running out of time in Miami, outside of that, it's just a personal hunch. I just don't like him. Okay. And, but he did say that he had Waddle as the number 1 overall wide receiver in this past draft, so he gave us kudos for picking him. Asked another guy, another Cowboys fan. His response was easy. If you get an O-line, he'll be good. That's what a lot of people have said lately. I respect that. I got a Raiders fan. He says, has to be surrounded by a lot of talent. Arm strength is bad and can't make all the throws, which will limit your offense. Good kid, just doesn't have all the tools. He goes on to say, I think his growth potential was stunted by Flores. I think we can all agree with that. And by Flores not buying into him, but nobody can help with his arm strength. There's not a lot of arguing you can do with that, guys. Not a lot at all. So that was a Raiders fan. Then I asked another Cowboys fan. He said, he actually said, I don't know, definitely potential 1 to 7, 8 to 7, kind of says it all, especially in coming up with the equally young, talented wide receiver core. It'll be worth the watch. So there's a guy that's going to tune in and watch Tua. Not a bad deal. Then I got another Cowboys fan. He just says garbage. That was his only response, was garbage. And then I have a Detroit fan, and Derek wanted me to make sure, he says he has no room to talk because he is a Detroit fan. But I asked his honest opinion. So he said, talented but raw for the NFL. The problem I have is his durability. Injuries were a question coming into the league, and I don't see that changing. And so that's kind of what we've been talking about. He's a fragile guy. There's just a few of the comments from my circle of non-Miami fans and what they think of Tua. Honestly, I think it's kind of 50-50. There's a lot of people that like Tua as a person. Not a lot of those people think he's going to be elite. Not a lot of those people think he's going to be great. Then you have the guys that are in love with Tua and can't see past the on-field product and still remember what he did at Alabama and think that he can do that again. It's yet to be seen. We haven't seen him if he's going to be able to do it consistently. We haven't seen it much at all. So it's kind of split, you know. There's a big gap, and the gap is right in the middle, and that's where nobody is. And I'm trying to get us all to the middle because we all need to be Miami Dolphins fans. And if he is our quarterback and that's what we have to deal with, we just have to accept it and criticize the young man. But we still got to do it. And we still got to cheer for our team. I mean, you don't have to. You can go jump on another team, but we have to cheer for our team. And if you're a Miami Dolphins fan and we have to deal with Tua, so be it. We have to deal with Tua. We've had to deal with a lot worse. We've had to deal with guys that didn't, because I don't know where Tua's ceiling is. I mean, Dayball himself was supposedly questioning Tua's ceiling in the NFL. But we really have to understand that it's the Miami Dolphins. It's the team we love. South Beach's finest. No, you know, the Heat are the hot name right now. Florida Panthers are doing good. The Marlins are terrible. But the Miami Dolphins are the team that we all root for. We all tailgate for. We all argue for. We all literally cuss each other out sometimes because we don't know what the hell's going on with our team. But we're Miami Dolphins fans. Miami Dolphins, Miami Dolphins, Miami Dolphins #1. You know, I'll sing it after every victory. I don't know if I'll ever sing it after a playoff victory. I don't know if I'll ever sing it after a Super Bowl. But I'm going to sing it. And I'm a Dolphins fan. The Tua hate, I just kind of want us all to get back into the middle. We can realize that he's not what we want, and he's definitely not what a #5 overall pick should be. Maybe he is to some of y'all, but for me, I've been watching football a long time, and a #5 overall pick to be having questions going into year 3 of whether or not he is the man, you wasted your #5 overall pick. Unless he had a catastrophic injury year 1, you wasted your #5 overall pick because the guy's not going to take it over. I have yet to see Tua. I've seen him do it in 2 games where he grabbed the bull by the horns, grabbed his cojones, pulled him up a little bit and said, I got this. Let's go. Jump on my back. We got this. I'm going to take y'all to the top. I haven't seen him do it. I've seen Burrow do it. I've seen Herbert do it. I've seen Patrick Mahomes do it. We watched Brady do it. I've seen Tannehill did it sometimes. But I appreciate you, Dossie, right? Dossie Dub. I like that. But right now, I want Tua to prove that he is worth that #5 overall pick. If he shows me that he was worth that #5 overall pick this next season, and he shuts all the Tua haters up because he takes us to the playoffs, maybe we don't win, but he takes us to the playoffs and he improves and we see the improvement and it's tangible and we can't argue with it, for sure. What up, Pete? If Tua would have been drafted 3rd round or later, he'd never seen the field. Tua is the worst quarterback in the entire league. I'm not going to go that far, Pete. I love that that's your take. I will say that if he was drafted in the 3rd round, I definitely don't think this is going to be a conversation. But I think if he was drafted in the 3rd round, I don't think he should have started first, but we don't do it like we did in the old days. In the old days, we sat the quarterback for a year or 2 years, let him learn the playbook, let him learn the speed of the game, let him do all that, and then put him in the league. But you don't throw him to the wolves. There aren't very many quarterbacks that survive like that. I mean, you can go look down the list of them. Baker Mayfield, there's a lot of them. Yeah, I appreciate you donating, by the way. Thanks, Pete. But you can't throw a young quarterback to the woods anymore. So I got 2 minutes left, and I'm going to tell you right now. I hope for this. This is my hope. This is not what I think is going to happen, but this is my hope. I hope that next season I'm eating crow on camera for you guys and everybody over on the Fins tailgate. And I'll do it for you. I'll eat crow right here. A sandwich full of crow that I was wrong about Tua. If he makes me do that, I'm going to be the happiest Miami Dolphins fan you've seen in a long time because I am Mr. Positivity. I like to be objective. I like to try to stay in the middle and take all angles and all perspectives and then come up with my own. But I would love to eat crow for y'all right here on camera, watching me chew it all, watching me swallow. I'd love to do that. That is my hope. And that's what I'm telling y'all right now. That if Tua comes out next year and proves all the doubters wrong, proves myself wrong, and takes this team to the next level, I'll be happy to say I was wrong because Miami Dolphins are winning. And at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to. I want the Miami Dolphins to win. I don't care how it happens. I want us to win. And that's what I got for you, TD. I appreciate you, bro. It's perfect timing, man.
No, man. What a great show. Amazing content. I appreciate you taking over tonight, man. every Monday night, ladies and gentlemen. Mike on the mic doing his thing. See, I love to enjoy content. I hate having to stream all the time. And Mike is somebody I definitely listen to, man. I enjoy the content. Again, if you haven't subscribed to the Fins Tailgate, make sure you go over and subscribe to the channel. I think you have about 50 plus new subscribers over there. So
That
that's
rocks,
pretty
man.
cool.
Thank y'all.
That's pretty cool, man. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure that you hit that button. Any last words before we get out of here, Mike?
Man, I just want to say thanks again, TD. Appreciate y'all. All the people in the comments. I'd go down there one day and maybe list all y'all's names. My kids are having some fun already, so it's time to get off. But, man, it was so much fun. And go Miami Dolphins all the time, baby. Fins till I die.
Let's go Dolphins, man. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I'll be live in 15 minutes doing part 2 of the
real quick, let me plug 10 o'clock after TD's done. The tailgate party is going to be going. So if you want somewhere else to finish up the conversation, jump back over there. It'll probably be going till about midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. If TD's done, come see us, guys.
Awesome, man. I'll be live in about 15 minutes doing part 2. I want to try to get through it as soon as possible. And then, the good thing about Mike on the mic and the Fins Tailgate, they are your destination for late night streams. They be rocking all night, man, having a lot of fun. So if you're up late at night, they're pretty available. They're usually live after 10, 11, and sometimes I see them at the midnight, man. So again,
tailgate party that never stops, baby.
Again, make sure y'all go subscribe. The link is in the comment section. The Fins Tailgate. Mike on the mic every Monday night at 8 p.m. to 9:30 here on TD Fans Talk, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. Love you, Mike. Appreciate you. And we are out.
Peace.